I want to get to this because I think you said you have to go soon. And so last week or this week, a bill that requires law enforcement to comply with ICE was signed into Oklahoma law. I mean, as we have discussed many times on the show, this is just performative, anti-immigrant bullshit. Uh, Immigration is a federal issue. It probably shouldn't even be a criminal thing. It is at best an administrative issue that we should try to sort out. But of course, Oklahoma wants to, uh, just continue to terrorize immigrant families by subjecting them to threats of deportation for things that it doesn't make any sense to do that. It is gross. It is racist. And yeah, abolish ICE. But yeah, you sent some pictures from a protest. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I flew out to DC this week and protested on Biden's 100th day about his 100 days of inaction on the immigration front and his broken promises to the immigrant community and about how immigrants and, of course, people of color got Biden into that office. And he has very much turned his back or turned his ear off to their cries. So we went to Washington, D.C. to make a little noise. Um, and I had the privilege of going and walking those streets and sitting on those streets and, really facing off with DC police and, seeing if they were going to let us sit where we wanted to sit for the whole time or if we were going to get arrested. And so we really went there to like be a voice. But it was a really important moment for me. Of course, like this protest wasn't about this one white girl going to DC. But I really wanted to speak to the viewers who are white, who are straight, and who are like predominantly middle class like myself, and that a lot of the reasons why people like me get involved in social justice issues or racial justice issues or like gender based issues is because we have some in our life that affects. I've always been I've always been a very liberal person, but I didn't get involved in activism, specifically queer activism, until one of my best friends in high school came out as trans. And so he pulled me into that space and he said, this is where I need your help. I didn't get involved in, the immigration struggles and their push for freedoms until my partner pulled me in and he goes, this is what you need to see. And I think it's really easy for us to, when I went to the BLM protests, I've gone to them in Oklahoma a lot, and I've signed the petitions and I've done all that. But I think there comes a time for white individuals who are in a certain level of privilege to say this, I don't need this person to hold my hand anymore. My partner did not come with me to DC. I signed up for this and, I knew that I'd be going without him, who has always pulled me into this space. But it was important for me to go out and say, it's not about keeping my boyfriend in the United States. It's not about making sure that my friend Zach survives high school and college and gets to live a life that he's proud of. It's about me making that choice to fight for everyone, to fight for the families in California, to fight for the families in New Mexico, to fight for the people at the border right now. Because if you just continue to walk into these spaces because your partner's there, because your friend is there, because you have a black neighbor, then you're never going to like really come to fruition as an activist and as someone who is a true supporter of these movements. Because if you're not willing to walk in these paths without these people, then like you're not doing much. And so it was really important and it was really moving for me to go, and scream out why I was there. And it wasn't just to be like, this is, the love of my life and I care about his family. It was, I care about all these families and no human is illegal. And I believe that at my core. And, no matter what happens with my partner, with my best friend, like I'm going to continue in this fight. And so I think it's important for everyone to take that step at some point and say, it's not only about the people in my life, but it's about the people in everyone's life.
Very well said. Yeah. I mean, and I think it'll take more of that. I mean, there really is. I mean, just based on like the hatefulness of uh, like these anti-immigration laws or this,
Yeah.
pushing of ICE. I mean, I think it really
Well,
is important to like expand the base of people who care about this because I mean, we're up against some like pretty grotesque opposition.
Yeah. And I mean, it takes, I posted all over my social media and stuff, and people were like, oh, like this is so good, blah blah blah. And then there are people like, well, we should be holding the countries that these people are coming from more accountable, and we should be trying to fix their issues, not trying to fix the people who come. But it's like, it's such a broken system, and I do blame Biden for not acting, but
Yeah.
it's also a system that Barack Obama had. It's the same system Trump had. It's the same system Bush had. Like,
Right.
these are not, it goes back to the Page Act and all of these different forms
Right.
of migration that have been policed. And so it goes beyond Biden, but I do think that people are protesting, and there comes a time when a community that has been so scared for so long goes out and says, I am somebody, my mother is somebody, my father is somebody, and we deserve full equality. Because these people are the backbones of our community, and they're trying, to live in the United States and keep their community to themselves, but they're terrified to go out. And that's no life. Like, people want freedom, and it's
Right.
not just the freedom to, go out. It's like the freedom to drive a car and not worry that you're going to get deported about to pick up your kid from school.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
so
No.
it is
I
really
mean,
hard.